Does your own desire feel good to you? That's a good sign. Because when your desire feels good to you, it means that you are not interfering with it. You are not adding resistance to it. You are not contradicting it. You are not canceling it out. You are not working against it with beliefs that are different. When you hold a desire that is pure, and by pure we only mean you're not saying I want it but I don't have it, or I would like to do this but it's too hard. A desire that is pure, a desire that is not contradicted, that holds little or no resistance, feels exhilarating to you. But it takes a little while for a desire to move with enough momentum that you feel true exhilaration about it. In other words, there's quite a bit to the process of putting into place a desire. You came into this physical body from pure positive energy, from a place of no resistance, with an attitude of enormous eagerness, because you knew what being focused in this time-space reality would mean to you. You knew that there would be others. You knew there would be a lot of others. You knew that they would be varied in their intentions, in their desires, and in their beliefs. And you said, I'm eager to jump into the mix of this, because then you understood that from all of this variety, from all of this contrast, you, brilliant, important, worthy, genius, creator, you would be able to choose and focus from all of this variety what you want. We've been calling that step one. Once you get here, step one of the creative process, sort through life and choose for yourself. But sometimes you don't realize that once you've made that choice, that then you choose against it. You say, I know I don't want that, and no, I do want this. I prefer this so much more than this. But then, without meaning to, usually, you talk still about the part that you do not want. So you keep the unwanted part active in your vibration. You are a vibrational being more than anything else. But in your physical form, you are translating vibration into what you see and hear and smell and taste and touch. And so you think that you are a seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling being, not smelly, smelling being. You think that you are that physical being with that physical action. And while you certainly are that, while your thoughts certainly have turned to those things, you are at your basis vibrational, and at your source, you are source. So while you came into this physical body to sort through the contrast, the larger part of you remains non-physically focused, aware of you in each and every moment. Not just aware of you, but intimately, intricately involved with you. So step one is you sort and sift, and you come to a decision or preference, what you prefer about this and that, and this and that. And without knowing it consciously, you launch these rockets of desires. You emanate a vibrational signal that really matters in a universe that is vibrational based, a vibration that matters in a universe that is managed by the powerful law of attraction. So you emanate a vibrational signal, let's call it your desire, and as you emanate that desire, your inner being, who remains non-physically focused, aware of you, but mostly non-physically focused, most of you is that non-physical inner being part. That part of you remains non-physically focused and receives the expansion that you have preferred as you have been sifting and sorting in step one. So you launch this rocket of desire, and when you ask, it is given. Someone should write a book about that. When you ask, it is given, which means the non-physical part of you becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for. So you, while you may not realize it, you have just allowed the contrast that you were living to cause you to expand. Oh, you expanded, and your inner being revels in the new expansion and holds the new place. Now that matters to you a lot, because now your inner being, because of what you have been living, has found this new place that you have carved out and is holding it steady. Now that signal that your inner being is emanating because of the expansion that you have caused, Now law of attraction is responding to that signal. This is very important, because now law of attraction is responding to that signal, your inner being signal, your fullest expanded signal. But at the same time, law of attraction is responding to your signal, to what you're thinking in this personality, in this body, at this time. So you've got potentially two different signals going on. One, fully expecting and knowing the brilliance of you, and knowing absolutely that this that you desire is in the process of becoming. And you, who may be standing over there in doubt about it. And your emotions at all times are your indicator, your vibrational indicator of how well or not you are up to speed with your own expansion. That's what your emotions are always about. Step one, you sorted and sifted and decided. Step two, you ask and it was given vibrationally. But then you say, I don't see it. You say it is given. You've been very patient with us as we've been describing to you this vibrational world that often you can't see and you don't know because you can't see it. So we tell you about law of attraction, and we tell you about who you are and where you come from and how you relate to us. And then we tell you that you are emanating these rockets of desire and that they are being gathered and held by your inner being in this vibrational reality. We even gave it a name. We wanted so much for you to accept the realness of it. Wrote a whole book about it. That should do it. The vortex, this vibrational reality where all that you are now is. In other words, you have become all of this. So law of attraction is responding to this aspect of you. The question is, are you up to speed with it? Because this vortex is gathering cooperative components. And so we began by saying to you, get into the vortex, get into the vortex, get into the vortex where what you have asked for, which is already a vibrational reality, get in there where you can know it, where you can feel it. And you were patient with us for quite a while, human race that you are. But then we began hearing from you things like, all right already, Abraham, how am I going to get the money out of the vortex and into the bank? This vortex is only satisfying for so long. And after a little while, we want to see the evidence of our creation. You do, don't you? And so that's where step 3 comes in. That's where you must be a vibrational match to what's in your vortex. You must be a vibrational match to what you've been asking for, to the expansion that you have accomplished. Because if you are not a vibrational match, then you are not in what we are wanting so much for you to hear and understand and know by the time you leave this room. You are not in the receiving mode unless you are vibrationally up to speed with your own desire. In other words, if you want something and you don't think it's coming, or you want it and you're complaining about how long it stayed away from you, you're not in the receiving mode. And even though your inner being and all that is emanating to you signals and information and impulses about what path you could take in order to find the delicious journey to the unfolding of everything that you're asking for, in your feeling of doubt, you are offering a vibration that is not letting you receive the signal purely. So step 3 is you've got to be in the receiving mode. We've called it the art of allowing what you've been asking for to come into your experience. Which brings us to the most important thing that we want to convey to you. And that is that you're masterful creators who have come into these bodies with the clear intention of gaining your balance, identifying your desires, holding your desires as prominent and predominant thoughts within you, so that law of attraction will respond to them. And under those conditions, you are then in the receiving mode. And when you are in the receiving mode, hear it, this is what we want you to know. Your thoughts then turn to things, to experiences, to relationships, to all of the wonderful things that you have come to this physical environment to live and know. Sometimes humans think that their physicality is a lesser state of being, and that they should somehow shed it, that they should somehow meditate it away, that they should get their head in the clouds, that they should be only spiritual and never material. But we say to you, you are genius creators who have come to the leading edge. And in this leading edge time and space, it was your intention, it is our intention, that your thoughts do turn to things. Every thought does turn to things. In other words, your thoughts are turning to things. We just want you to be aware that your thoughts turn to things. We want you to be aware that you have a vibrational reality that is full of the fullness of you, and that if you care about how you feel and you guide your thoughts more and more in the direction of what feels good to you, you will come into consistent harmony with your vibrational version, and then the most wonderful life experience begins to unfold for you. As these thoughts begin to turn to things, you get an impulse. You know that feeling of when an idea comes to you, that idea that sort of takes your breath away for a minute, it excites you before you kill it with your doubt. You know that moment when you get that fresh idea where just for a moment it lives without the countering contradictory thought. That's the beginning of this vibration turning to the thought. And as you receive that thought and are able to maintain that thought then turns to impulses and more thoughts and more joy and more fun and more rendezvous and more experiences and more amazing things and more of the things that you are wanting. That's the process. Have you not wondered how creation happens? Do you see any pipelines from other planets? Do you see anything being trucked in from someplace else? Or do you understand that you are here with the power of your mind and with the energy that creates worlds pulsing through you? And that when life causes you to desire and you line up with that desire, then it must be. And it must be vivid, and it must be apparent for all who are able to see. So that's really what we're asking of you. We're asking you to prepare yourself for the seeing of what's in your vortex. We want you to tune to the frequency that will allow you to get in on the thrill of what you are creating. You have put enough in your vortex to keep yourselves busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. It is amazing what you have gathered from your exposure to life. And now it is our desire that you find a way, maybe through the words that are being offered to you here, to be more aware of how you feel and be more aware of what you're focusing on and feel your way. Sometimes you think you're thinking about what you want, but you are not. Instead, you are thinking of the opposite of what you want, because every subject is two subjects, wanted and absence of it. So when you're thinking about more money, but you are feeling that you don't have enough, and now you want to offer effort in order to make more money come, you're actually working against yourself rather than for yourself, because you're trying to do with action what you must first do with vibration and with thought. It's such an interesting thing to watch you. You work so hard, and you mean so well, and you matter so much, and you are so worthy. And yet, as humans, you deprive yourself so often of the things that you have asked for one very simple reason. You are fixated on what is in terms of what has manifested into the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. So your observation of what is doesn't allow you to hold the vibration of what you're asking for. You think that what's manifested is now, but it isn't. It's old news. What is manifested is not the active now vibration, unless in your now you're looking at it. What's really now, what's really you, is what's in this vortex. And if you will look there, if you will feel there, that's what in religion you mean. That's what in religion we want you to mean when you use the word faith. Faith in something unseen means the feeling of it, even though it hasn't manifested yet. It's like putting the kernel of corn in the ground, having faith that if it is nurtured, that it will come into a plant and that it will have an ear of corn that can be harvested later. And you have enough confidence in this seed experience that you expect, you have faith. You can't see the corn yet, but you're not doubting it. You don't go out a few days later and stomp on the ground and throw a fit because you cannot see it yet. Where are you? You don't dig it up and eat the seed. You allow it. And that's what is going on in your vortex. It is the gestation period of what you've asked for. But we want you to know, so much of it is ripe and ready for you. The question is, are you ripe and ready for it? And if you are noticing what has happened, which doesn't include what you want to happen, then your attention to what has happened is preventing what you want to happen from happening. That was an entangled sentence. Did you get it?